Today, we made about $78,000. What a great way to end off 2025. My best trading year yet. Man, this year has been a ride of a lifetime, man. Not gonna lie, man. London session just opened. I'm a little late to the party, right? But better late than never. I do think that price is about to just absolutely collapse very soon. So I'm gonna enter for a sell right here, placing my stop right above this high right here at this 1.178 level here. Boom, 1.178 right there. Damn, that's a lot of slots, man. Alright, let's go. Honestly, bro, I'm just expecting price to collapse from here. Like, just gonna start pumping all the way downtown, baby. Bro, I literally just went to set up my camera and I came back and I saw we're already up like freaking 17k. What the frick is going on? Bro. Dude, oh my god, look at this, guys. Literally, man, what the fuck? I was actually kind of hesitating on whether I should actually enter for the trade because price has already did this huge move, right? But then I realized there's so much selling momentum in the market that is just stupid to actually be missing out on this trade itself, right? So what about that? Place my entry right there and then pretty much targeting this next demand that we have down here. Just titsy bitsy, just managing my expectation right here. Because if you look at the internal structural, what do we see? We are actually heavily bearish right now. You know what? Let me just go to full screen to show you guys. As you guys can see right here, the 4-hour swing structure is actually bullish. But what happens is that price literally just took out the last swing high right here, which means that price is going to start pulling back. And where's price going to pull back to? It's going to pull back to somewhere in this area right here, right? Like this deeper area of demand, which is also where the last swing low is situated at. So this means that the internal structure has to start shifting bearish in order to facilitate the higher time frame pullback. So what happens is that on the 1 hour time frame itself, I saw price was creating lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. And if you look closely, there's actually your supply chain being formed, right? There's this supply right here, price mitigated this previous supply, start crashing down. And then what happens is that price went up there, swept the liquidity above these highs, and then start crashing down again. And then this forms this new supply zone, which later on price came up there, mitigated that, and start crashing down. And now price has pretty much came up to the most recent unmitigated supply zone that we have marked up right here. Okay, so you can see this is the fresh unmitigated supply zone, which is part of this supply chain, which tells us that sellers are in control of price, which means that when price return to this unmitigated supply zone, we can expect a bunch of sell orders coming to the market, just dumping, causing the market to go on like an absolute huge dump, right? So I pretty much just waited for price to mitigate that point of interest. So right now we're actually 26 minutes into London session, and when London session actually opened, what happened was that I saw price actually went up there and gave me my low liquidity sweep, where price came up there and swept this high right here. Boom, liquidity sweep. And then we also got a confirmation that tells us that the internal structure is shifting back bearish when price actually come down there and took out this last fractal low right here, giving us a fractal market shift, right? So this pretty much told me that, you know what, this little pullback that we have, right, this little short-term pullback that we had for price to actually pull back up to this supply zone, it's over. And right now, we are shifting bearish and we going downtown, baby. That's it, man, right? It's really just as simple as that. As we let this trade play out, let me just drop you guys some gems. A lot of you guys are saying, hey Brad, I feel anxious all the time. Now let's really define what is anxiety, right? Because anxiety is not this mysterious thing. It's simply two desires that is fighting inside you. What it basically means is that anxiety often comes from two opposing desires at war. For example, you want the result, but you don't want to pay the price. You want to be rich, but you don't want to work. You want to be healthy, but you don't want to eat clean. You don't want to exercise. You want to be consistent, but you don't want to do the boring reps. You want the trade to play out perfectly, but you don't want to sit on your hands. And that internal tug of war that you're facing right now, that's what creates the anxiety. Because your brain is thinking, okay, which one should I choose? Should I choose the path of least resistance because that might actually make me feel good right now, but it's not going to give me the result? Or should I choose the path of most resistance, which will end up giving me the result, but it feels uncomfortable, it feels painful? Once again, that is what creates that internal conflict which generates anxiety. So the cure to anxiety is very simple. All you need to do is to pick one desire and then be willing to pay for it. And just focus on obtaining that one desire at any given time. Which means that if I desire to become profitable, and I know that I need to show up and put in the reps, follow my trading plan, journal my trades, all of this stuff, then I will have to do this stuff because that's me paying the price in order for me to get the profits that I desire, in order for me to get my desired outcome. Like that's if you want to become profitable. Now, if you want to be peaceful, then you have to accept that your growth is going to be slower, right? You're going to be able to flow with life rather than trying to impose your will onto the universe, onto life. And you have to like just relinquish control and just trust God's divine timing. And if you want to live a long life, then you have to eat the healthy food. You have to exercise. You have to do the things that feel uncomfortable, but is good for your body, your mind, and your soul, right? So at any given time, choose one desire and just be willing to pay for it. If you're not willing to pay the price, then there's no point of you desiring that thing in the first place. Anxiety starts diminishing the moment you decide what you actually want. Right now, you're just going in circles. You don't know what you want. You want this, but you also want this. You want this, but you also want that. And that is, once again, what generates anxiety, which means that if you can get laser focused on exactly what you want, anxiety starts disappearing. Because now there's no war. What you do have is a plan to get there. And like I always say to all my students, understanding what you want is the hard part. Getting what you want is the easy part. Most people live their entire life never finding out who they actually are. They just become whatever they were handed. Your name, your belief, your religion, your personality, your limits, your fears, your goals, all of this was basically installed in you since you were a kid. Science have literally shown that whatever happened in your first 7 years, that kind of dictates your identity. So all of this stuff was given to you by your parents, by school, by society, by your friend, by the internet, by the environment in which you are growing up in. So you grow up thinking, this is me. I am Brad Go. But the thing is, it's not even you. It's simply social conditioning. And that is exactly why people tend to conform so easily, right? Because it's so much easier to just wear an identity than to build one. It's so much easier to just like live the label that you impose on yourself or other people impose onto you. And that's the scary part, right? Because if you don't consciously choose who you are, life will choose it for you. If you say that you want to become a musician and that's the label that you put onto yourself, you're going to end up living your entire life to that label, not exploring your fullest potential, right? Because perhaps you could have become like a great scientist, but because of this identity in which you put yourself on, guess what? There were so many things that is like missing, right? There was so much missed potential. Like one day you're going to wake up, you're going to have a quarter life or midlife crisis. You'll wake up at 30, 40, 50, realizing that you were living a life that you didn't design. You spend your entire life chasing other people's dreams. You spend your entire life making other people rich. You spend your entire life trying to satisfy your parents. Still chasing validation, still scared to stand out, still playing small because that's what everybody around you does. And to me, that's like the worst nightmare ever. So the real work here isn't how do I make more money? How do I become more profitable? How do I become more confident? Instead, you should be asking yourself, who am I when nobody's telling me what to be? And then just spend your entire life trying to develop your own belief, your own thoughts, find your passion, do the things that genuinely fulfill you up. And that's how you live a great life. The moment you can answer that question, the moment you know who you are fundamentally, that is where you start becoming the main character. And everything starts changing. You will start to see that the universe actually collaborates with you so that you can achieve whatever you want. And that's the best thing ever. Because now you're actually in full alignment with the universe rather than trying to go against it. And this might sound crazy, but like to me, I really think that the market is a representation of the universe. the more you try to fight it, the harder it will be for you to succeed. Fighting the universe, fighting the market is like fighting an uphill battle. You will never be able to win. It's this force to be reckoned with, which means that you need to flow with it, right? You need to adapt with it and evolve with it. As the market conditions change, instead of being stubborn and fixating on your strategy, adapt your strategy, right? It's like the market is always right. The market is not going to like fold to your will. You are the one that needs to tweak, iterate your trade plan so that it stays evergreen, so that you can always like make money in this market itself. Damn, I'm up 20k right now. Brad, why are you up 20k right now, man? That's a lot of money, man. Look, guys, money is simply an illusion. Money is not real, bro. Money is not real, bro. It's simply papers. It's simply numbers on a screen. And I basically see it as an agreement. The only reason why it's valuable is because everybody believes in it. Let's say that you're stuck in fucking Alaska and right now you are freezing cold and you're in this cave and you're about to die if you don't have some heat source. And in front of you, there's a bag of $1 million cash. Dude, you're gonna light that shit up on fire instantly. Even though it's $1 million cash, so that you can actually live one more day, right? So money itself is simply worthless. But because there's a perceived value to money, that's why people actually use it. So what is money then? Money is simply an energy exchange. It's value moving from one person to another. You solve a problem, you create value, you get paid. That's it. So when I pay you $10 to do this, you're giving me like a service in return, right? So once again, it's a exchange in energy. And since money is an energy exchange, guess what? Energy contains a frequency, which also means that if you can raise your frequency to the frequency of money, that is where you can attract money, right? So here's like the interesting part right here. I'm over here looking at me being up like 13k right here. And that really comes because I'm not chasing money. If I were out here chasing money rather than attracting it, what's going to happen is that I'm going to repel money away. If you move like someone with low frequency, like someone that's broke and like living in scars, living in fear, you're just going to repel money away. But if you move like someone who creates value, you attract it. Now you're suddenly in the frequency of money. Now you are suddenly solving these huge problems that people are willing to pay you for. If you're desperate for money, you chase money. And whatever you chase runs away. If you are grounded, on the other hand, you build cool shit that people will eventually pay you money for. And now you are attracting money. You're attracting luck. And this is also why some people always seems to find money no matter what. They can go broke, they could go bankrupt, but then they still end up getting rich again. And it's because of the fact that they are simply operating at a higher level, a completely different frequency. They are the type of people who choose to take responsibility, execute, shows up, provide value, give as much as humanly possible, and they don't flinch under pressure. And that's the type of people that attracts wealth. So guys, listen guys, if you're out here, you want to be rich, right? You want to achieve your dream life, you want to travel the world, or you want to actually buy that Gucci bag, whatever it is, you need to tap into that frequency. And it's not by manifesting. It's simply by becoming the person who can hold that level of money without self-sabotaging. Because I've seen so many traders, they could make money, but they can't keep the money they've made. One day they'll make this amount of money, next day they'll give back the profits back to the market. And I used to be that guy, right? I remember turning $500 into $9,000 in 3 days. And next day, I lost all $9,000 in 1 day. And then I asked my friend who have been trading for a few years why that's the case. And she told me, Brad, you know how to make money, but you don't know how to keep money. And that is when I realized that I was self-sabotaging myself because I felt like I didn't deserve that money. I felt unworthy. quite simply put, I was pretty much a brokey mentally, and I was operating at like a low level, at a low frequency, and as a result, I just couldn't get rich no matter how hard I try, because I haven't raised my frequency. I haven't become the person who is worthy of the money itself. So raise your standards, raise your skills, raise your discipline, because money will always follow value, and value always follows who you decide to become. So you don't chase money, you chase the highest version of yourself. You chase your passion and just watch the universe collaborate with you and do everything it can to turn your dreams into reality. Look guys, price has pretty much came down to this demand zone right here. I literally forgot to mark up this supply zone. Yeah, but you can see that it's meeting a little bit of resistance right here. There's a little bit of demand over here, right? Price mitigating this demand right here. That swept liquidity, very long low wick, which means that at this point of time, there was a lot of buying pressure in the market, right? So we can pretty much expect it to have some sort of like buy orders like within this demand right here. So I'm pretty much just expecting price to make like a tiny pullback just like this, maybe mitigate this previous supply right here, and then just start continue crashing down. Okay, so if my trade idea is right, this is what's going to potentially happen. If my trade idea is wrong and there is insufficient supply in the market, what can potentially happen is that price can go up there, reverse, hit my stop loss, and then just continue going up even higher. Maybe coming up to this supply that we have up here or whatnot, right? And if that's the case, I'm okay, because guess what? I followed my trading plan, and that's all that matters. Right, like I said, I'm not out here chasing the money. I'm not thinking like, oh my god, I must win this trade. I must make 50k on this trade. If not, I'm a shit trader. Nowadays, I don't really like attach my self-worth to my net worth anymore. I'm so zen, man. Because remember, external success means nothing without internal peace. The person who wants the next shiny object is as poor as the person begging on the street. Both are trapped in the same loop, wanting reality to be different. Nowadays, I'm just living in this abundance mentality. I'm so grateful for everything that I have. You know, I love my family. I love my friends. Like literally just yesterday, I hosted a barbecue dinner with all my army friends over. And then at night, I caught up with some of my friends who I haven't met for like 5 years. And then just 2 nights ago, I was celebrating my birthday with my family over like this nice dinner at Hai Di Lao, which is like this Chinese hot pot restaurant, you know, and I'm just being so grateful to be able to like just pay the bills, right? Just pay for the food, pay for their transport and everything. And it's just such a blessing to be alive, right? To be using my money to be like out here blessing other people. Like right now, as you guys are watching this, I want you to feel my frequency. I want you to feel the vibes, right? Because like when you see someone else happy, when you see someone else grateful, you start feeling grateful and happy as well. Like honestly, I'm just so happy to be able to like being on this earth, you know, like in this era, being able to do what I love and just being able to provide as much value as humanly possible, having like a large social media following where people are out here actually watching my shit, trying to learn from me. And I'm just so grateful that I can be of service. I think that's what living is about, man. It's about like just serving other people, right? It's about just ensuring that the world is a much better place before I die than when I came into it. That's it, man. That's it, man. And here's the funny part. When you are grateful for what you have, you start attracting more money, more wealth into your life, right? It's like when you stop chasing and you just start being grateful, you start attracting more, right? I don't know why, but that's just how the universe works, okay? Like that's just how it works. But yeah, man, like genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I'm so freaking grateful to be able to be doing this on the 30th December, you know, like people are out here celebrating the holidays and stuff, but I'm just over here live trading, creating content, working on edge flow because I genuinely want to do so, right? Because like what else should I do, right? What else should I do? Like I genuinely just love this shit, man. I love playing this game. I love speaking to you guys. I love meeting you guys. I love just giving back to the community itself, right? But hell yeah, man. Look, my gratitude has actually moved the market. closer towards my TP. This is actually insane, bro. It's like the market could literally feel my vibes, literally feel my frequency. And I'm such a big believer in the fact that you become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Your words become your reality. Because your self-talk is basically programming. So if you keep saying to yourself, I'm unlucky. Oh, I suck at trading. I always mess up. I'm not disciplined. I'm not a profitable trader. What happens is that your brain will literally start acting like it's true. Because we humans always act in accordance to our own belief. So if you believe that you suck at trading, next thing you know, you are going to find all these ways to just not get good at trading. You will look for proof that you are indeed suck. And then when you find this proof, it further reaffirms your belief that you are bad at trading and you're stuck in this vicious cycle of like self-sabotage. Now the flip side is true. If you keep telling yourself, I'm the best trader in the world, I do what I say, I'm built for this, I'm disciplined, I'm focused, I'm patient, you start stacking evidence the other way. Now, I know this might sound like some woo-woo bullshit, right? Now, there's this famous water experiment that blew me away when I actually heard about it. Basically, what happened was that there was this one glass of water where they said, I love you. And then there's this other glass of water where they said, I hate you. And the water that they said, I love you to, it became these beautiful crystals. While the other one, where they said, I hate you to, it became like a messy puddle of water. And that's crazy. That's crazy because that literally proves that sound wave literally dictates the metal of the water itself. I don't care whether that's true or not, but like the message is still true. The energy you speak into yourself matters because you live inside your own head every single day, 24/7. Which means that if your self-talk is terrible, you are gonna live a shit life, right? Like your results are gonna be terrible because your actions are terrible or because of the fact that you believe yourself to be terrible. So if you want to change your life, start by changing your words. Start by becoming kinder to yourself. Stop cursing yourself every day like it's a joke. Stop these self-deprecating jokes, right? Stop letting these self-doubts overwhelm your head and start speaking like the person that you are trying to become. And when you do, watch your DNA start changing itself. Watch new neural pathways start forming. Watch new beliefs start happening. Watch new actions taking place and watch your results start changing. Alright, so we're in the pullback phase right now. Not a good place to be in. It's like the upside down in Stranger Things, you know? It's not a good place to be in, right? So what happens is that price has pretty much pulled back to this good old juicy supply zone that we have up here. Right, no biggie, right? I just knew for a fact that after this huge drop right here, price is going to mitigate this demand zone that we have mentioned. And there's going to be buy orders right here that cause price to start pulling back a little bit, right? But as long as price doesn't take out this swing high right here, which is exactly where I place my stop loss, we are still good. Our trade idea is still valid. Price is technically still bearish. So yeah, so right here, price pullback to this supply that we have marked up right here, this 5-minute supply, mitigating that right now. Supply zone, dead swap liquidity. This is potentially the second time in which smart money is about to enter for sell orders. Once again, if our hypothesis turns out to be true, right? If price turns out to be bearish, you know, we are right. Supply overpower demand right here. And this is where we are going to see the next drop to the downside where we can see price finally coming down and hit our TP. Okay, so remember, anything that can happen, right? No matter how confident you are, just know for a fact that this potentially trade could still go wrong, right? Price could still come up here and smash my stop loss if there is more buyers than sellers in the market, right? So it's all about understanding the tug of war between the buyers and the sellers at any given moment. So right now, just chill, man. Just chill. Stop loss at the right place. You know, nothing to worry about. If we lose, we lose. If we win, then hell yeah, man. This is like the last trade I'm taking this year, man. Actually, the last trade of 2025. So I guess like the outcome of this trade will determine how my year is gonna be, right? If I actually ended up winning this trade, it could be a sign that 2026 could be a monster year. If we ended up winning this trade itself, it's unreasonable that we do not hit $1 million a month in 2026. Mark my words, man. God's plan, God's will, man. But yeah, let's just continue to hold this trade, see what price does. Definitely can see price has really started shifting bearish, right? I'm very confident in this trade idea itself. Judging by the current momentum of the market, there is indeed a very high chance for price to just continue bearish and just continue collapsing. I'm hoping for that to happen. And yeah, okay, cool. Right now, I'm just about to jump on a meeting with my team members to work on edge flow, right? To just continue making sure that this is the best product in this industry itself. And then I'll come back and then I'll check the outcome of this trade. Hopefully by then, 1 hour later, we have hit TP and not stop loss. Please, please. No DD, please. Yo, dude, come on, man. Come on, man. So after, price started pulling back all the way to somewhere around here, it was coming to 7 p.m. my time. So I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm just going to go to sleep at around 10 p.m. Just set and forget, right? Because I have, once again, relinquishing control to the universe, to the market. I'm just whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to flow with the market, flow with life. If price want to hit my stop loss, so be it. If price want to hit my take profit, so be it. I just don't care. So I went to sleep and woke up this morning. Price have absolutely came down and smashed our TP. Literally. Can't fake this shit, man. I was literally telling you guys about how you guys need to just flow with the universe. And I practice what I preach. I literally walk the talk, right? Went to sleep, detached from the trade outcome, woke up, bam, we just made 78 bands. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like I said, money is simply an illusion. It's an energy transfer, which means that you need to raise your frequency to be attracting money, guys. Today, we made about $78,000. What a great way to end off 2025. My best trading year yet. Man, this year has been a ride of a lifetime, man. Not gonna lie, man. Honestly, I feel like I've grew so much this year, not just in terms of trading wise, but also mentally, spiritually, and physically. And I'm just so proud of how far I've came. And it's just crazy how consistent I've been on this Bread Trades channel. Just been relentlessly documenting every single live trade that I've taken so far since the start of this year. You can literally see every single win, every single loss, every single lesson that I've learned, every single mistake that I've committed, and how I just commit to just continue showing up every single day and just getting better. And I hope that this year was a great year for you guys. And I genuinely hope that I've served as a good inspiration for you. Because like I said, since I started the trading gig about 3 to 4 years ago, I set out on a journey to actually document my trading journey to $1 million in trading profits. And I'm so glad to be doing that this year. I'm so glad that now I'm actually managing a multi 7-figure account and just having the ability to actually give back to you guys by, show you guys how it's done, right? Show you guys how to play this game to the highest level. And yeah, what a great time to be alive, man. Honestly, nothing to complain about. I just really love this game, right? I genuinely really love this game. And not only do I love this game, but I do love helping you guys master this game as well. Anyways, I literally just posted this tweet yesterday, and I genuinely really believe it. The proof that money is made in the long run. You guys just need to understand that you need to play the long game. In order for you to gain mastery, in order for you to make fuck you money, in order for you to actually just get competent at this. Because this pretty much sums up my 7 year of trading journey. 2025 was my 7th year. But what you guys don't see is the shit that I have to went through in order to get to where I am today. Right? So I always say, don't be jealous of what I got or what I achieved. Be jealous of how I got here. And if you saw how I got here, you wouldn't be jealous of anything at all. Because it took me 1 year to get proficient at technical analysis, 2 years to understand the importance of risk management, 3 years to become consistently profitable, 4 years to develop my mental and technical edge, 5 years to build the trader's intuition, which is also known as your gut feeling, 6 years to understand the market cycles, and 7 years to make fuck you money. Right? To make 6 figures a month, to be, just managing a multi 7-figure account. And that's when I realized that experience is the tuition you have to pay to the market in order for you to buy wisdom. So if you are in your 5th year, just know that you gotta keep going. If you are in your first year, just know that you're going to keep going, because as long as you do not quit, there's a chance that you're going to succeed in the end. So the setbacks are simply a part of your journey, right? They are simply the story that you'll one day tell to your grandkids about how you overcome, all of these like hardship and difficulties in order for you to become so successful and now giving them a life that you never had growing up. Remember, your journey is the edge. Keep showing up and you'll win in the end. Let's crush it in 2026. Let's make 2026 the greatest trading year ever. Let's get it, man. When December is supposed to be the worst month of the year, but it ended up being one of your best trading months.
Smack that, oh, 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 no, smack that, oh, no, oh, smack that.